and welcome to the podcast episode 4, where today we're going to be discussing social media. Social media it's bad. I'm just going to start it off with saying it's bad. There's little to it that's good. I may as well end the episode right there, but for your sake, I will go into detail of why it's bad. So, social media is supposed to let people share their experiences with life. That could be anything. It could be taking up their, selling their home so they can take part in van life, or, going to Hilton Head Island. It could be any one of those things. Whatever it be, well, you run risks. I'm running a risk doing the podcast because, people, and, I upload the podcast to YouTube. I am recording this, by the time I'm recording this and editing it and doing all of that, I haven't actually made the YouTube channel yet, but that will be soon. So as of now, I've recorded episodes 1, 2, 3, and I'm now recording 4, and then I'm going to do an intro episode that I haven't done yet, and then I will create the YouTube channel. So, moving on. As I said, everybody runs risks when they post things to social media. Even if they don't really show much of their personal life. Because, someone may look at something they posted and think, interesting, I want to look into who this person is, and then that person has a stalker. And you don't want stalkers because stalkers are stalkers, and, they might try to rob your house or something worse. But anyway, so social media doesn't just risk your life in terms of gaining stalkers, but what it also does is, if you are someone who makes themselves tries to make themselves look more attractive, I really I don't know why people do that. It's so weird. I'm serious. I'm being serious. I don't know why people do it. I genuinely find it weird. But when people do that, they risk their lives starving themselves. And because, apparently the thinner they get, the more attractive they look. I guess that's how that works. I don't care about how I look. I just don't care about any of it. But it's a major issue, and it really came to my mind when I was at a movie theater a few days ago, and an ad popped up before the movie, showing about how being one of those people that makes themselves more attractive for social media literally harm themselves, and they talk trash about themselves, and if they see a millimeter of fat on themselves, which is very hard to get rid of, I mean, it's something we all need. Fat is, something we all need. Making yourself thin is, making yourself thin is possible. It's a very hard task, and I'll give them credit. It's amazing that they are, able to make themselves that thin, but they're doing it for no reason. So, they harm themselves doing this. They starve themselves. And, starving yourself isn't a good thing if you didn't know. But anyway. So, another thing that these social media, quote-unquote, stars do is they really have no self-respect for themselves. my opinion at least. They may think, well, not even in my opinion, that's a fact. They may think that they have self-respect for themselves, but when you see the ridiculous things that they do on, say, TikTok, well, you realize this person should probably go to every single kind of therapist in the world. They do, all of these, silly little TikTok dances, and they dance to The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran for, 5 minutes straight, and it's ridiculous. I don't get it. Why do people do this? It's so ridiculous. Me personally, I've never been on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, any of it, because I don't really want to be exposed to that kind of thing. I have no desire to. My friends have already kind of exposed me to enough of it. Um, and what amazes me is that they, watch back, they watch the recording of themselves dancing to The Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, and they think, wow, I look great. No, no, you look ridiculous. It's not even good dancing most of the time. Not even most of the time. Like, more than most of the time. It's 99% of the time. So, I'll give them this. A lot of them are really successful, and that is good for them and bad for them. It's good for them because, well, some of them get profit from that, and then it's bad because after they get the profit, they use it to get a better camera, better microphone, better songs, better rights to copyright. I don't know. But anyway, so you can really tell when you see a TikTok dancer woman if you go to the mall. That's where there are. Is abundant the right word? I don't know. That's where they are. That's where the flock likes to hide, as I like to say. They go there so they can go to Hot Topic, Spencer's, and what have you. They look at these shirts they sell at Hot Topic. I won't say what those shirts are since I have been in a Hot Topic, and they're interesting. I won't say they're good because they're not, but they're interesting. And they look at these shirts and say, I'm going to wear that for TikTok, Twitter, whatever. And they buy the shirt, and then they get their money back because they are posting these things and then getting profit off of them. Again, good for them because, they're getting a lot of money from, doing these things some of the time. It depends. And I'll state another reason of why they risk their lives. Probably should have stated this a few minutes ago, but I've just thought of it. They risk their lives doing dumb things. And I mean death. But things that lead to obvious death. Immediate death. And I'm not talking about, Johnny Knoxville jackass level death. But they do these things like, they surround things in asterisks and put, I jumped off of a skateboard ramp, and then they get 2.9 billion views, and, well, they're able to pay for the hospital bills, I guess. but anyway, these are the kinds of people that look at lower class people and see them as disgusting rats and see themselves as superior, and they think I am God or something of that manner. And, well, it's obvious that they're not. God would not do such a thing, hopefully. If he did, I'm sorry, but we would be we'd be following the wrong person if he'd be the kind of person that'd be doing that. They're the kind of people that usually take things for granted. And as I said in the last episode, the last things that I said in the last episode was have a good day, don't take things for granted. I don't take anything for granted. I'm very glad that I'm able to do the podcast. I love doing this, and I want to continue doing this. And I don't want to fall into the category of a typical TikToker, because, well, I don't want to make myself look ridiculous. I don't want to, accidentally fall into a rabbit hole of TikTok and suddenly realize, be poisoned by all of these weird videos and think, wow, TikTok is brilliant. Because that might be a thing that happens for all I know. I wouldn't know because I've never been on TikTok. Something else that these social media stars, and I don't want to seem like I'm sexist, but it's not just women, it's also men. Men do it just as much as women. But what they do is they take this profit. They don't use their profit wisely. And I know I've said just a few minutes ago, good for them, I'm making profit, which, yes, good for them. They've found a way to make a living, and it's a living. But they don't use it wisely. What they do is they take their profit and then they brag that they've bought the brand new Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon G63. And, people look at it and think, wow, good for you. And yes, good for them. I mean, they've been able to they've been able to follow a passion and found success in their passion. And good for them. I'm glad. But don't use your passion like this. Use your passion as something that, would help people of the lower class, or make everyone think, but know that you are a good person. Don't brag that you bought an airplane. Don't brag that you bought a private jet. Don't brag that you bought an airport. Don't brag that you bought a hotel. Don't brag. Don't brag, because all it does is make other people jealous. And I hate to be this person, but imagine being, the person that you're bragging to. How bad they must feel. Of course, not everybody would feel bad in some cases. Say, you bought an abandoned mine. I'm not, and then you try to brag about that. I wouldn't be jealous of that. I don't want an abandoned mine. But hey, if you want to use your profit to buy an abandoned mine, sure, go right ahead. I know I wouldn't, though. That wouldn't be an investment. And these people definitely get the idea of investment. They really do, because as I said, they take the profit from their little dancing videos and then they buy all of these things that make them look more attractive, and their camera, audio, what have you, better. And they have more of a following all of a sudden. So I want to kind of dive deeper into the, not nearly, but close to Jackass level things that they do. And I mean, Jackass is in Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, all of them. So, some of them, such as car enthusiasts, go on TikTok and then they say, I'm going to drag race a Ferrari GTE 458 Speciale with my 1,000 horsepower Jeep Trailhawk, or whatever they're called. And then one of them loses, and then one of them loses their mind, one of them is incredibly happy, and then, they've done this ridiculous thing for what? Money would be a part of it, but what else? and I get money is, incredibly important, especially now where everything is $1 million, but they're they're getting they think that social media is a real job. It's not. No. A real job requires you to actually go there. And sure, you can, be a stay-at-home person that, gets money from doing a thing such as YouTube and make money off of that. And, does that count as a job? Yesn't. As in YESN apostrophe T. So they not only risk their lives, but they also risk other people's lives just so they can get a extra buck, right? They go on the streets and, they nearly crash into someone, they nearly hop a curb, they do all of these things, and, well, they either crash or they don't crash. Either way, it's a stupid idea. And I'm amazed they thought of it in the first place. So I'm going to do something similar to what we did in the last episode. I'm going to take a look at what would happen if social media didn't exist. And I mean YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, the cause of it, all of it. And, well, again, like I said in the previous episode about technological advancements, we'd benefit from it. There's no hesitation in saying that we would benefit from it because we absolutely would. There would be no people getting, what is it called? There would be no people getting things like anorexia. You starve yourself, or I think that's what it is. There would be, there wouldn't be as many people harming themselves just for money, for, clout. That's something I haven't mentioned, clout. That is another big part of it. They get, dopamine feeds, and then they think, I need more, and I mean, they need more views, so they think they need more views, and then they beg, oh my God, please subscribe, please follow, please do everything. Leave, 20 comments on this video saying how much you enjoyed it. So anyway, something else that these social media stars do is they verbally and physically sometimes harass other people. What I mean is they refuse to let them go if they don't answer their question. If they refuse to answer their question, you better answer my question. Otherwise, I'm going to do my best to expose you as a bad person on TikTok. Because that's what I'm best known for. Exposing people. Even if people know that I'm a bad person, I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I'm good at. That's what I've been doing for 37 years. TikTok has been around for 37 years, but you know what I mean. Little bit of a hyperbole, but anyway. So, they go up to these people at Santa Monica Beach or whatever. A lot of them are in California, but everybody's in California. And, they ask people things such as, I don't know what they ask them, but they do. And the people that they ask the questions to, they don't want to answer the question because they're just trying to get along with their day. They'll ask them to, 100-year-old people. That's, again, a hyperbole, but anyway. So, they'll walk up to these people, and they'll ask them a question. They don't want to answer the question. They try to move on, but they continue they continue trying to get them to answer their question, even if they don't want them to, especially if they don't want them to. And they'll give up sometimes. They'll sometimes have another person answer the question for them. They'll go to great lengths just to get an answer. They do it all for attention. That's where I think this all leads up to. They do it for attention. And that's just the way they were born. They were born to believe that they were special. And that might be a topic for another episode. I'm not saying another episode based around people thinking they're special. I mean parents making their children believe that they have ADHD and the schizophrenia and lesbian, gay, bacon, and tomato sandwich, LGBTQ, and that's definitely going to be a topic for another episode, maybe. So, with that, I think it is time to end this episode. Have a good day, and just don't get dopamine.